Well, poverty is the common dilemma of almost all the economies, but especially for the developing countries, it is a challenge. And despite of taking many measures, the issue could not be resolved as yet. The objective of this paper was to determine the ways of poverty reduction which may have dual effect. And the community development is best way of achieving the objective. However, community development should be inclusive and sustainable, and livelihood creation should be the integral part of the community development. Before moving forward, it is important to know the key terms used in this research paper. By poverty, we mean multidimensional poverty defined by Alkar and Foster. For the Pakistan, they define 14 different dimensions under umbrella of education, health, and living standards, while for the rest of world, there are 10 dimensions of poverty under the same heads. The inclusive development is the integration of different development aspects like health, education, water and sanitation, hygiene, etc. in the same community. Sustainability is for the dual purpose. That is, development should be for long term and it should not affect the environment or nature negatively. As discussed earlier, that the poverty is a challenge for the world economies, and despite of taking the different measures, it could not be tackled. However, community development is the way to achieve the objective. The same is the problem statement of this paper. Research objectives of the paper include to explore the relationship between multidimensional poverty and inclusive and sustainable community development. To find out the relationship between multidimensional poverty, inclusive development, livelihood creation, and sustainable development. To find out the ways of multidimensional poverty reduction and to search out the ways of inclusive and sustainable community development. For this study, a detailed survey of the literature was carried out and some of the selected papers are referred in this paper. The selected papers include the Comprehensive Community Initiative presented by Reid and Tarjuman in 2003. They said that different sectors like government, NGOs, business entities, and educational institutes, etc., should come together and explore the solution of poverty reduction and community development. In another study presented in 1998, Gosman and Aspers discussed about the theory of change and established the relationship between economic development and some of the aspects of community development like improved housing, less or no crimes, and social capital development, etc. They described the interconnection effects of both economic and community development. They assume that communities can play the important role in the development of economic opportunities in the area by inspiring business activities. In the empirical framework in 2004, Infanti and Toya said that ignorance to communities may lead to vicious circle of social and economic issues. So the communities should be provided different skills and education to play an active role in development, which ultimately leads to poverty reduction. Dude in 2008 stated that the poverty can be countered by establishing the new and improved earning opportunities, which may also improve the living style of the general public of the area, while strict employment rules and regulations helps in eliminating the danger of poverty. For the sustainability, Abdul Ghaffur Aman in 2003 said that economic well-being and sustainability are interlinked. However, economic development in different cases may have the negative impact on the environment, and sometimes this negative impact could not be countered. The conceptual framework of the paper is based on three independent and one dependent variable. The independent variables include inclusive development, livelihood creation, and sustainable development. All of the independent variables are considered the part of community development, while multidimensional poverty is taken as dependent variable. The multidimensional poverty is same as discussed earlier that it has 14 different dimensions for Pakistan under the umbrella of education, health, and living standards. It was a quantitative type of research for which 230 surveys were carried out in 5 different districts of Sindh, province of Pakistan. The questionnaire was validated by different social scientists mentioned here. 3 null hypotheses were tested through principal component analysis and the linear regression on SPSS. Before moving forward, I would like to discuss the limitation of the study that it is based on the data collected from a specific area. So more research is required on the same topic by adding some more variables like human capital development and women empowerment, etc. From the data result, R value represents the simple correlation among the predictors, which is 0.275, which indicates the weak degree of correlation. While R square is also low, but predictors sustainable development, inclusive development, and livelihood creation are statistically significant, so the model is fit. With alpha of 0.05 or 5%, the F statistics value is 6.156, which is larger than the critical value. So we rejected the null hypothesis. The significant values for all the independent variables in coefficients table are less than 5%. So it is concluded that all the independent variables have significant impact on dependent variables, and all the 3 null hypotheses are rejected. So finally, from the data results and literature survey, it is concluded that the challenge of multidimensional poverty can be overcome through community development, as communities are the roots of economy. However, the development should be inclusive and sustainable and have no negative impact on the environment. Livelihood creation should be focused in all the development projects for which locally available resources should be utilized. Thank you.